Hello, Ms. Holmes. I got your email about this particular question. But what I did was I went to view an example so that I could give you an example of the question that you sent me. So let's take a look here. It says, first estimate the answer, then find the exact answer. Simplify your answer if possible. Now, first of all, we look here. We have 7 and 7/8 divided by 7 divided by 4 and 9/10. I'm just going to write this over here. 7 and 7/8 divided by 4 and 9/10. Now, the first thing we want to do is estimate. Now, when we estimate, we're trying to determine if this fraction here is closer to 1 or closer to 0. Now, we know 8 over 8 is the same as 1. So we know 7/8 is close to 1. So because we have 7/8 here, we will add 1 to this 7, and 7 and 7/8 will become 8. Now this is estimating. Now that's divided by. We go here to 4 and 9/10. We know 9/10 is closer to 1 than it is to 0. So we will add 1 to this 4, and that will make it 5. So now what we will have here is 8 divided by 5. Now, if you read here, it says to estimate the answer, round each mixed number to the nearest integer and then divide. Okay, now we have 8 divided by 5, which is just 8/5. Now let's go through this here. This is the example. If we press continue, we have 7 and 7/8 is rounded to 8, and 4 and 9/10 rounds to 5. We continue. So we will have 7 and 7/8 divided by 4 and 9/10 rounds to 8/5. And that is your final answer for the rounding portion of this problem, as we see here. This is what we have. Now we want to get to the exact answer. I'm going to just draw a little line here. We're going to take 7 and 7/8 divided by 4 and 9/10. So now, what we need to do here is change this mixed number to an improper fraction. We know we would keep our denominator the same as 8, but to get our numerator, we'll take 7 times 8 is 56, plus 7 will give us 63, divided by 4 and 9/10. Our denominator stays at tenths, so we'll take this whole number, 4 times 10 is 40, and add the numerator, which will give us 49. So now we'll rewrite this. The first fraction stays the same. Division becomes multiplication, and we take the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now we could do cross simplifying here. We look at 63 and 49. Both of these numbers have 7 in common. So we'll divide 7 into 63 and 7 into 49. 7 goes into 63 9 times. 7 goes into 49 7 times. Now we look here at 8 and 10. 8 and 10 both has 2 in common. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So now we will have 9/4 times 5 over 7. And we can multiply straight across. 9 times 5 is 45. 4 times 7 is 28. Now, since we have an improper fraction here, we could change this to a mixed number. So we would take 28 into 45. 28 goes into 45 one time. 45 minus 28 will give us 17, because remember, we cannot subtract 8 from 5. So we borrow 1 from this 4, that gives us 3, and this 5 will become 15. 15 minus 8 is 7, 3 minus 2 is 1. So our remainder is 17. So our final answer is the whole number of 1. Our denominator stays 28, and our numerator is the remainder, which is 17. So it's 117 over 18. Now, we could check this by continuing with this view the example. Now, when I click here on the continue, this is going to disappear, but you can rewind this, or you could wait till I bring it back up. So I click here to continue. It says the first step in dividing mixed numbers is to write the mixed number as improper fractions. It says rewrite the first number, which we did, 7 and 7/8 is 63 over 8. And then we'll rewrite the second number, 4 and 9/10 is the same as 49 over 10, which we did. And then we would divide them. And we would change division to multiplication and take the reciprocal of the second number. Now what they did here, they multiplied straight across instead of doing the cross simplifying, which is fine. That's another method. And we continue, and then we simplify it in lowest terms. We get 45 over 28, which we had. And then now we would take 28 into 45, which would give us 117 over 28, which is what we had here. And that is it. Please feel free to email me again if you need further instructions on this problem. Okay, thank you.